Chris Tremlett, welcome to the podcast, big man. How are you?
Does that? Yeah, all good. Thanks for inviting me on. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you know what? I've been wanting to get you on a pod for a while. Seeing all your hard workouts on social media and where you take yourself mentally, just been amazing to watch. But before we dig into any of that, just want to let everyone know who you are, a bit about yourself, and your growing up in your cricket background as an elite athlete. I think we can class cricketers as elite athletes, right? I think
I
that might
mean,
be a
yeah, I
conversation,
mean,
maybe.
especially these days, yeah, you've got to be pretty fit. I think
Yeah,
to reach the top levels, yeah, your fitness levels have to be pretty good. When I first started, the fitness levels and drinking abilities, the drinking abilities are probably definitely a bit better than they are now. But yeah, fitness in cricket has definitely come a long way over the years for sure.
yeah,
Um,
agreed. And I think when people hear the word cricket, they think people standing around for a while. But from your point of view and what you did, and the accolades that you achieved, was incredible. So yeah, Chris, you're an Ashes winner. Key member of the historic England team, away in Australia. You took key wickets, Ricky Ponting, Michael Clarke during the Ashes series. And to be fair as well, you've had some injuries along the way, and you've shown some incredible comebacks. So just share us just really briefly a bit about the cricket background, and then what led you to where you are now, just really briefly.
Yeah, I mean, taking it back, I started playing cricket when I was about 4 years old. Made it into I think Hampshire under 11s at about 10, 11 years old, and sort of made my way up through the age groups. Played for Hampshire, got signed as a professional at 18. I was still at college review at the time,
Yeah,
so got signed fairly young, which was great at the time, and yeah, sort of went strength to strength for playing for Hampshire. Got selected for England academies, England A sides, and then eventually sort of forced my way into an England side at age 22, 23. As you mentioned, unfortunately, I had quite a few sort of nasty injuries along the way. I've had 8 surgeries in total on my body during cricket, in various parts of my body. And then, yeah, as you mentioned with the Australia thing, I was 27, 28. I've been out the England side for a while, moved from Hampshire to Surrey, needed a sort of change mentally from the team I was playing. I needed a new challenge and managed to force my way back into the England side at that sort of period in my life, and got picked for the 2010 Ashes series, and that's the one I guess everyone sort of remembers me for, because I played quite a big hand in that, and we won in Australia, and I mean, it was the first time we won Australia for about 25 years, and we haven't won there since. We got thrashed.
bring back
Thrashed.
Chris.
We got thrashed. Unfortunately, again, a few, last month. But so yeah, and then I've gone on to, played till I was about 34 years old. So I've had a professional career of about 16 years in cricket. I'm now 44, nearly 45. And when I retired, I wanted to I've always been a fan of the gym, but sort of take my fitness to different levels and train in a different way that I was able to with cricket. I was very restricted of what I could do in cricket, so I wanted to sort of test the boundaries with my body, with my fitness, and where I could get to. And I started an Instagram. I didn't know what Instagram was in 2006, in 2016. And I just set up a little page, and just if people wanted to see my transformations and sort of workouts I was doing, I sort of started posting about 10 years ago, and I've just sort of followed it through to now. So, and goals have sort of changed along the way. We've had a couple of young kids along the way. I've got a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old, but the gym and the lifestyle has sort of stuck the same over the last 25 years. Really, it hasn't really ever changed. But I guess the older I'm getting, it's you realise how important it is to look after yourself.
Yeah, most definitely. And I say, you know, when you were playing cricket, you was a serious bowler, fast bowler, tall, powerful, and you mentioned it's really interesting. I didn't think about that, your body type and how you were. And, I look back on it now when people used to call you Twiggy. I was
Yeah,
talking to Tony yesterday and I said, "Oh, I got Chris on the pod." He's like, "Oh, great, say hello." But Tony
yeah,
Bolger says hello.
yeah.
And he said, "Oh, yeah. He used to be so different to what he is now." And I said, "Mate, it's just an incredible transformation." And it's interesting you say about how you had to be a certain way when you were playing cricket, whereas now, obviously, you can do what you want,
Yeah,
and you can train how you want to train.
exactly.
And yeah, so that's interesting. I didn't really look at it like that. And obviously you come through some serious injuries. And now it leads us nicely on to, I'm 45 this month. You're currently 44, and
Yep,
we're both, I'd call us masters athletes, as it were, that just like to just train each day.
yep,
And it's nice to see how they overlap with those mindsets, and your mindset with what you do. You mentioned about your family. No matter what, whether it's 10 at night or 5 in the morning, what I see, again, Instagram's only a small part of that and what we speak about, in messages. But what I see is you and your partner, like how you make time to get it done. And
yeah,
there are never excuses. You just got back holiday, right? Went to Dubai and
yeah,
still out there doing a little bit. You always seem to just make time. And for me, the word that covers is like, it's that mental fortitude. It's that relentless attitude. And I
yeah,
think relentless is a really powerful word. I think you've got to be relentless to be an elite athlete, which you were playing cricket, but you've carried that on now and haven't got in your comfort zone like a lot of people do, but you literally are relentless every single day.
yeah.
And that's for self improvement, right?
Yeah, I think it's just I can't put my finger on it exactly, but I think it's always I mean, it stems back to my cricket career, actually, probably stems back when I had a lot of injuries, which mentally was always the hardest thing coming back,
Yeah,
you know. I'd be very close to playing for England and I'd get an injury, I'd have to have surgery and I'd have to go through a sort of 3 to 6 month process of rehabbing back up. And I just found like mentally to cope with those situations was even if I was in a cast or whatever the situation, if I could get in the gym and do something, it would just sort of like reset my mind. And I just found that over the years that that was like a coping mechanism for me, not to fall into like a depressive state with my
yeah.
injuries. um, and you know, I had over, I think I had about 150 MRI scans. I spent so much
Wow.
time on hospitals. Like I'd say I was the most up there with the most injury-prone cricketers you could imagine. Even though I had a quite a long career, there were a lot of dark times.
Yeah,
But yeah, so it was just the gym. I just found very addictive for one. I always loved lifting weights, but just from that sort of mental side, it was always just like if I was about able to move or lift weights or something, it would just sort of reset my mind and I could start the day or end the day feeling a lot better. And I
yeah,
think I just sort of carried that forward when I retired. It was just like that was such a, you know, no matter how much money I've made and I've bought nice things throughout my career, they're short term sort of short term satisfaction.
yeah,
But the gym mentally has just always kept me very balanced. And when I retired and it was kind of what am I going to do next? It was like prioritizing my lifestyle to I've got to get the gym in every day or most days. That's
yeah,
the most important thing. I'm going to build my life around that. And I guess with my partner as well, she's kind of got the same mindset as like she wants to get, you know, the first thing she does before she goes to bed is what am I training tomorrow? She look at the CrossFit program. She does CrossFit like you guys. And then she sort of plans her day around when she's going to do it. And everything else kind of comes second to the workout really. And I guess we're sort of built quite similar. As you
yeah,
know, always planning about what you're going to do the next day. And it just becomes a lifestyle. And it's just been like that really my whole cricketing career and following on. It's always sort of been like the priority. And I've sort of built my life around that. So even when we do go on holidays and things like that, it's just making sure there's a gym in the hotel or there's a gym close by where we can just get a decent enough workout. And it doesn't have to be like a fancy gym where we're going to kill ourselves on holiday. It's just like just keep the mind ticking and just keep ticking over. You know, it's also good to have those sort of down periods or deloads when you are training hard at home all the time. But yeah, it's just keeping up that momentum because I think when you stop, not that I have stopped,
yeah,
but I just feel if I do stop, if I get ill for a few days, I slip into that sort of mental state of just feeling a bit crap about myself, and so I've just always just tried to keep at it, and no matter what, like you said, it's 5 in the morning, 10 at night, it's just trying to just do something and it just sort of resets my mind and I can start again and each day just becomes a lot easier and yeah.
yeah. And it gets done. And so you've got your own structured training, yes, your own discipline, and your intensity stays the same, like mentally sharp, physically, and mentally, and that's after, long time after your elite sporting background.
Yeah.
And from your point of view, when you were training as a cricketer, did you find it hard to do those hard things compared to now? Because you had to do it back then, whereas now it's a choice. You are choosing to get in the pain cave at silly o'clock. You're
Yeah.
choosing to absolutely send it on your favorite piece of cardio equipment. I'll go into that in a minute. You're choosing to hit those sets, lift heavy. This is a choice. Before you had to do it. Did you enjoy it before?
Yeah, I mean, on the most part, yeah, there were some things I didn't enjoy. Like like I said, I'm 6'8". I've always been quite a big guy, so running is just something I've always found very difficult.
Yeah.
Even though it's part of bowling, I found bowling okay because it's sort of interval wise, but longer runs and bleep tests and things like that. I always found quite difficult because I think I'm just not built for running. I was always sort of naturally gifted on a rowing machine. So, on a bleep test, I was probably hitting up 11, 11 and a half, and that was me training as hard as I could. I think it was just the turning and things like that. And, other guys would get to 13 and 14 on bleep tests and not even train for 3 months, the smaller guys. Um, but you get me on a row, on a rowing machine, I think my top rowing time back in the day, I think I got about 6:12 on a 2,000 meter
On a
row,
2K, that's amazing.
on a 2K. So I was always fit. And I really enjoyed the machines, always enjoyed rowing. Assault bike wasn't really a thing back in the day. It was more just like rowing and ellipticals and running
Yeah.
machines. But the weight training, I always loved training weights, and that was sort of came into cricket probably 3 or 4 years into my career. No one really used to do weights when I started, but as cricket, 2005 Ashes, England won, and they started bringing like fitness trainers in, and fitness in cricket started to become more of a thing. So we started doing weight training, but lifting weights was always something I enjoyed doing from about 2001, 2002. And I just wanted to get big actually. And I came back one winter in 2002, three, and I actually got a bit too like top heavy. And they said, what have you been doing? You know, you haven't trained your legs enough. You just got, massive shoulders and big arms and a chest. And I learned
Look
that you've
good
got
though,
to,
Chris. It looked good.
it looked good on the beach in Australia.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it was just like lifting weights was like something I always enjoyed doing. But again, it was always like tricky with cricket because you do have to be sort of more of a lean structure. So I just tried to sort of balance it out of doing the cricket stuff I was meant to be doing, following my fitness program I did from England, Hampshire, whoever. And I just add a few of my own little things that mentally I just like to do
Yeah.
with weight training. So I've always trained with weights, even when the fitness trainers were like, don't do that. There were some times that I'd come back after winter, they would measure me we do our body fats and things, but they would measure all my chest and my arms. I wasn't lifting weights in the gym. So it became
They were
quite
double
difficult
checking.
because I was doing like secret weight sessions down at the Virgin gym down at West End. I'd pop down there in the afternoon and start pumping weights
That's
but yeah,
brilliant.
so yeah, so when I retired, really, it was just trying to sort of train in a different way. And I had, when I first retired, I just got huge. I put on about 5 or 6 stone, just trying to get massive. I didn't do any cardio for about 3 years. And then we had our first child in 2018, and I was 135 kilos and I could hardly walk up the stairs. And I thought, right, I've got to start balancing this out with a bit of cardio. And then I started, hitting the rowing machine again and the assault bike. And it's kind of like a balance now of, I guess people call it like hybrid training. I do a bit of functional stuff. I do a bit of CrossFit stuff. I do bodybuilding stuff, and I do assault bike and rowing and skiing and that now and then. But my main sort of cardio bit, as you know, is probably just the assault bike. It's something I've really sort of enjoyed doing over the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And when I
Yeah.
played cricket, the assault bike wasn't really a thing. I guess because Rogue have come in with the CrossFit equipment, and they built that sort of bike, and I just think it's a great bit of kit. And naturally my my legs, because I'm tall, my legs have never been like naturally big, and that's something I've had to really work on it to build my legs up over the last 10 years. I've done a lot of weight training, but I just found the road bike to help build my legs up. And I just find it enjoyable. And it's such a mental challenge to beat that thing.
Yeah.
I know where I started on it. And I think I started from quite a good point. And over the years, I've just gradually got better at it. And each year, I just want to keep trying to add to that with my own little sort of personal goal, really.
Yeah, and like I say, that whole personal challenge is something that you don't compete anymore. Everything you do is about bettering yourself. And those relentless standards that you had many years ago, you've now taken into your everyday life. They don't disappear. They don't disappear after sport.
Yeah.
For you, would you say training is now about it's the longevity, it's being showing your kids that fitness is a normal way of life. It's a bit of an identity for you as well.
Yeah.
And then you've got that mental resilience of I am still training, I feel good, I'm going to be self-pushed for an hour and I'm going to work on myself because that'll make me a better father. And I think also, again, for me, definitely is, and again, it's called chase pain for a reason, is I like to find that threshold of the red
Yeah.
line. Can I push harder this time? Can I push through it? Because that's where I feel as I grow mentally and physically.
Yeah.
That's where I like to put myself in kind of
Yeah.
that hole. And from the point I'm making is from your point of view, you aren't out there competing with anyone. I know all you worry about is your numbers and what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's quite a hard thing to do for someone that was an elite athlete, competitive level, international. Um, but I still like to dabble in a bit of competition. I feel like a kid in the candy shop. I do it
Yeah.
once, twice a year. I like to hit
Yeah.
a comp or try and qualify. It isn't the be all and end all, and it doesn't matter whether I do or whether I don't, but I still have that little itch to scratch, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, but I've also got my numbers on my board that is my
Yeah.
priority, and this is what I want to hit. So just to really touching on that, you've got your own numbers. We haven't got to go into them right now, but just what's that mindset for you? It's you versus you, isn't it?
Yeah, like I said, I think everyone's different. Like my wife is very different to me. She likes going to the box. She does train at home a bit. Again, we during COVID, we sort of built a gym in our garage. Just as we had two young kids, it was like it made sense to use that space and sort of invest into a space where we're going to use. We use it. I use it pretty much every day, and it's been one of the best things we've sort of invested our money into. But yeah, everyone's different. She likes to go to the CrossFit box. She likes to have that competition. She likes to see like what other people are doing. I sort of
Yeah,
joke around, it doesn't matter what Matt or whoever's whatever's who at the gym is doing, but it just sort of helps her mentally to compete and fire her up, and it gets her to the gym. And I know she forces herself to go. She knows once she turns up at the gym, she's got to do it. She's sort of built that way. Again, with cricket, I guess I was always very competitive with cricket, but it was also always in a team environment.
yeah,
Even though it's an individual sport within a team, so you're still the bowler trying to get wickets, and you're trying to, you want the glory for yourself, but overall, I guess you're sort of still in that team environment, competing amongst yourselves, but together. But always from like a training perspective. Even when I was playing cricket, I don't know what it was. I just quite enjoyed that sort of self challenge. And I liked going in the gym with my headphones on and just sort of like switching off. And maybe it is to do with just like that, my mental time as well. I don't know what it is, but so there's nothing really that motivates me now to want to compete. It is just about, I guess, like the principles that are important to me in my life. Like I said, we're 44. It's important that to me that I do try and maintain muscle mass, and it does get harder every year, and it's it's stuff that I've studied in my 30s, 40s, and listened to a lot of podcasts of people older than me. I always like to sort of listen to people above my years, hearing where I'm going to really,
yeah,
and how much harder it's got. So I've always tried to be a little bit ahead of the curve. So sort of you know, building muscle is important because you're going to start losing it in your 40s, 50s. Keeping the cardio health up, all these things, trying to stay strong. It's only going to sort of help you in the long run. But certainly having got to 135 kilos, I was about 105, 110 when I played cricket. So it was quite a big jump.
yeah,
And I got really strong within a 3-year period. I was eating a lot of food, not all good food,
yeah,
but went on a proper like bulking phase for about 3 years, and I felt really strong and sort of hit numbers on bench presses and things that I deadlifts and stuff that I've never sort of done before in cricket. But that got to a point where, well, what's the point of doing that if I can't sort of walk up a hill and push the pram? There needs to be a balance. And it's actually more the cardio stuff. People on Instagram, I guess, talk about me more because I put on weight and got bigger. But they probably don't realize that I do probably work more on my cardio fitness now these days, and that is probably more the priority for me. Um, so
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's like I said, it was just I bought an assault bike over COVID. I don't really use one before, and you probably remember over COVID, everyone was obviously in the gym. You know, people that were
Well, I
lucky
bought
enough
the
to have
rowing machine. I bought the
yeah.
rowing machine the day before COVID.
Yeah, so I think
Everything just shut down.
people were lucky enough to have a bit of gym equipment that,
Yeah.
people had nothing else to do. So people were doing challenges and, who had a row machine or an assault bike or whatever they had.
Yeah.
And the few people I knew that had an assault bike, there was a few things going around and I just started doing some
Jumping
workouts
on
on
it.
it and I
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
enjoying it and I just sort of got quite addicted to it really. And, and because I've always been quite good on machines, I suppose you like to people prefer to train stuff that they're probably better at and they enjoy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has just become a bit of an addiction. I know my times are quite good compared to most people
Wow.
for my
I
age,
think I think
but
that's something we can definitely move swiftly into, big man,
yeah,
because
but
this is
but
some
again,
great
it's not.
stuff.
It's but again, like you said, it's not about competing. I don't want to sort of at the moment. I'll never say never, but there's nothing. People want to do high roxes and stuff, and that's amazing. But for me, it's just about every year I just want to chip away,
Yeah.
and just try and keep improving because I've even surprised myself like how much I've improved. It's only small amounts, but like I've got to levels where I remember when I first did an hour on a assault bike, which is madness anyway.
Yeah, it is.
I got 800 calories and just thought that's pretty good. And I saw one of my missus's CrossFit coaches, and he got 1,000, and I just thought, there's no way I could ever get 1,000. That's just impossible. But 5 years later, I've chipped away, and I've sort of got to that sort of level. So it is amazing what you can do. You've been training hard for the last 5 or 6 years, and you probably surprise yourself with a lot of things that
Yeah.
you've done when you look back of where you started, and you thought, "There's no way I'll get to that level," and now you take it for granted because you've got there.
Yeah. And you want to keep
But
going on
sometimes,
and keep pushing
yeah,
yourself.
you want to keep going, but
Yeah,
unfortunately, the better you get, that progress sort of slows down. But it
it
doesn't
does.
mean it still feels great when you get those little wins and those little PBs.
Yeah. And I think that from a progress point of view, when you first start, you can knock off a minute, 10 minutes, 20 minutes off of
Yeah,
certain longer workout times.
yeah,
But then as you progress, those wins are seconds, not
yeah.
minutes. And I
I mean,
think it's just realizing
for
that.
me, it's like it's rep. For me, it can be a rep every
Yeah,
3 or 4 months. It takes that long bashing away. But if I get that rep, I just because I'm marking down in my own little head and whatever. But I just if I know the curve's going upwards, it's still a great feeling at my age because
of course it is.
I know it's going to get to a point where the curve's going to start to go the other way. It's got to, but
Not yet though,
not
Chris. We're still
not
going
yet.
up, pal. We're still
Exactly,
going up. You keep pushing me, mate.
exactly.
I love it.
So
You keep pushing me. You keep making me go out there and do it more, which is really,
yeah,
really good. Now, I would say you've mentioned the assault bike a few times. So for listeners listening, you've got the assault bike, the classic assault bike, and you've got the echo bike. They're both assault
yeah.
bikes.
Yeah,
The echo,
I just got the Echo bike. I used to have
yeah,
the Classic, but I just got the Echo
you got
bike.
the echo bike.
I find it was just a bit sturdier for
It
my
is.
size, and yeah,
I agree.
just a better bike in general.
Yeah, I agree. And the reason I say that is because I know the echo bike, I believe is, especially to get it ramped up, can be very, very challenging. To get that
It's
first,
the
one or
first
two
bit's the hard
cows.
bit. Yeah, the first bit's
Yeah.
the hard bit for sure.
So the Echo bike, those that are listening, it is an assault bike. It's made by Rogue and it is an absolute beast. And it is Chris's cardio weapon of choice. The Echo bike that you use, it's definitely built the mental and the physical attitude. It is, I believe, the Echo bike's a testing ground for me mentally. And it isn't just cardio, it's building that mindset of right, I've got to hold on for this minute or the
Yeah,
next minute. And we're coming to those workouts that you sent me in a minute because I really want to dig into them. I want listeners to go and try them, try and put these numbers to bed, try and give them a go. What numbers
yeah,
can they hold? But I will say, looking at the numbers that you are hitting, and without blowing smoke up your ass, I don't know many people in the world that can hit these numbers. I honestly don't. You got Dallin Pepper, the amazing CrossFit athlete, the X Games champ Matt Fraser.
Right.
These guys are not hitting these numbers. And so
Matt Fraser is about 5'9" though, isn't he?
yeah, he is. Yeah,
I've got a bit on him.
that's true. So the Echo Bike, obviously, and the row machine, they suit your build, they suit your shape, they are playing to your strength, but yet we still have to get the job done. And the workouts that we discussed first of all, so the 50 calories per time. I put on social media the other day that I admitted that it's something I've been dodging for about 3 years. It really scared me, that workout. I've done 30 calories per time on many
Yeah,
occasions, 31, 32, 33 seconds, but I know how I feel
yeah,
at that finish mark. And the thought of having 20 more calories to go, it scares me. I hold my hand up. It really
yeah.
does. And the conversation I've had with a lot of people about this 50 calories per time is those last 15 calories. So I know at the moment, top scores 20, I think it's 24 or 25 seconds, 50 calories per time. That's the number one in the world. So what's your score for the 50 calories per time?
Um, Again, it's not something I do very often because, like you said, it's just a horrible feeling afterwards. I
Once is
think
enough.
my best is 27, so it's
Wow.
not far off. But again, like I thought, because cause there's the 100. I think it's the 500-meter row, 100-meter row. These sort of things they're the sort of things I'm like, can I get close to sort of world records? And I watched a guy. I think the guy that's got 24. I think he had 25 last year, and I thought, can I get close to that? And I think I did it in like 30 seconds, 29 seconds. And I got it down to about 27. But I was like, I'm only doing that every month because, like you said, the feeling afterwards is just, it absolutely ruins you.
Yeah. And I
I think
haven't
it
done it,
helps.
so I don't know officially what it is.
I think it helps when you're a bigger guy and you're able to get a quicker time. You can actually have the power to do it that quickly. But yeah, the last 20 to 15 calories, it just hits you. I think whatever level you are, it just hits you. You just hit a wall.
Yeah.
And it's just that feeling of, it's actually afterwards. It just sort of hits you. Your heart rate goes to max about 10 seconds, 20 seconds after you've done it. So that isn't something I really enjoy doing. But it's still there's a little sort of itch there to just, can I keep chipping away at that? And like I said, I mix around with longer workouts, shorter workouts. I think for that 50 calories test, you've got to sort of be training in a slightly different way to the longer stuff that I'm probably been doing more at the moment.
Yeah.
Because it's about getting this. You obviously got to have an endurance base there as well, but it's about that power of getting it started and being able to just really go for it
Ramp it up.
to ramp it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy with my time considering I am, in my 40s. And it's something I've been chipping away. I don't think I could get the 24. I might be able to get a second off where I am. I thought 25, I might be able to get to 25, but again, like 27, 24 sounds quite close, but
Got to
it's
be happy
actually,
with that, big man.
I'm
I
very
just
happy
hang my
with it.
hat on that. I've
I'm
not got
very,
to do it again.
I'm very happy with it. But I know to shave another 3 seconds off, that it doesn't sound much, but that's a lot when you're
Yeah.
ramping it up on that machine.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. So another couple of workouts that I know you do. It'd be nice to share a bit of insight into these workouts and maybe the
Yeah.
why behind them as well.
Yeah.
So the classic 1 minute on, 1 minute off. So I do this for 20 minutes or 25, and I have a target and I try to hold. I started at 18 calories, then I
Yeah.
went to 19, then I went to 20, and I'm yet to get above 20 for 15 rounds. So I know
Yeah.
yours is 30 rounds to begin with.
Yeah.
And
It
1 minute on 1 minute.
it started at 15, and then I don't know why.
Okay.
I just thought, I guess as I started doing I did start doing these hour times and stuff, and I just thought I'm just gonna did it for 15 rounds, half an hour. Then it went to 45 minutes, and then I went to 30 rounds an hour. It's kind of just like a staple thing. If I'm not feeling like going in the gym, it's a bit of a weird reverse mindset. But the days where I don't feel like training, I do try and do the hardest things because
You
I'm like,
punish
I've got to
yourself.
go. Yeah. If I just go in there and I'm going to half-ass a back workout or a chest workout, I'm not going to get a good workout. So it's actually the days on a Sunday or a Saturday, I'm tired, I'll have a coffee and I'll go, right, I'm going to go and do something really hard. And that is
Yeah,
a weird mindset to have. But my staple workout is minute on, minute off for 15 to 30 rounds. I like the 30 rounds because it rounds it up to an hour. And I just, again, I like that horrible grind of the last 20 minutes because it's just
yeah,
horrible. But
yeah. And the
there's something about that that gets quite addictive. I don't know what
agreed,
it is. Yeah,
agreed. It really is. I feel the same. It's when you hit that red line, when you hit the line of right, I don't want to do anymore. And then you're
yeah,
like, okay, I've rested 15 seconds. I've got 30 to go. Oh, I don't want to do anymore. You
yeah,
got 15 seconds to go. You get back on the seat and right, let's go. Right, we're going to attack it. And that
yeah.
feeling of it, that sense of achievement, not just at the end of the workout, but every round when you want to stop is such a great feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's just that punishment of like, how can I keep going? You know, I'll be 20 rounds in, I'm crawling on the floor going, I can't do any more. But there'll just be something inside. And I think that's just what separates the people that really want it, or the levels that you get to is that does separate the sort of the mindset of the people that
Yeah,
are average, the people that want to take it to the next level or really
yeah,
get better and really improve. And people don't a lot of people don't improve because they're not willing to sort of go to those levels and really push to those pain levels. But again, those pain levels get addictive when you
mm,
get used to the pain. When you start out for the first 2 or 3 weeks of anyone starting out, if you haven't worked out for a while, the pain is horrible. You don't want to do it. It's not addictive, but as you know, you keep doing it and you get in that rhythm of pain, it becomes addictive and you get addicted to the pain and you want to just keep pushing that pain because it just improves you. And that's when you see the numbers go up. And when those numbers still, keep going in the right direction, you want to keep chasing them and keep getting better. So
agreed.
I can't put my finger on what it is, but yeah, it's just that grind of whether it's on a rower or at the moment a salt bike, it just sort of does something to you that you want to just keep pushing through that grind and that pain.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. Earlier you mentioned about it's nice to be able to go on holiday. It's nice to be able to buy nice things. Okay. And these things cost money. And it's a nice position to be in. But you know something money can't buy? What you can't buy is that feeling. You have to totally earn it. And I think that's one of the reasons
Absolutely.
why I enjoy it so much is it cannot be given to you. A rich person can't go up and say, right, make me feel like that on round 20. Right.
Yeah.
The only way you can get this is through pure, honest effort. And it is you, v the bike, v you, bring it on. And that's why
Yeah.
I love this game so much because I just feel as though yeah, no one else can buy that feeling that I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
I've had to earn that. And I think there's something really special about that.
Yeah. And it's like I said, it's not just you can't just do it for a couple of months. But you can, but you'll only get so far and you'll go backwards very quickly. But it's you're doing it
Yeah.
all the time. And it just like I said, it becomes almost like a lifestyle of incorporating that pain into your lifestyle. Um and like I said, I mean, probably the same, but there's not many people I meet, especially my age, that are like me. Like, I find it hard to socialize with people my age because they want to go down the pub or they want to go and have a
Yeah.
curry or whatever. And the chat is about how many pints am I going to have or, you know, how much money am I going to make or how's my job going? But like, for me, it's, the priority is different. It's living that lifestyle. It's
That can be quite
important.
lonely sometimes. I know when I was 40 and I started not pulling away, but I was choosing to do different things with my time. And my circle of friends it did get smaller, not by choice, and they weren't being mean or anything like that. It was
Yeah.
just things changed, and I'm still good friends with a lot of my circle. However, I do see them less.
Yeah.
But that's because I would rather go and do something else. It doesn't mean no, I very rarely drink. I might drink once, twice a year, maybe. And that might be a pint just socially or for a birthday or Christmas. But it just means that we have our own. I feel like I've created my own identity again, and they're on their
Yeah.
journey. I'm on mine. No dramas, but I do feel as though my circle's got a lot smaller. But I
Yeah.
also do feel quite supported through a lot of my friends will ask how I'm getting on or what you're doing and things like that. So
Absolutely.
and that's fine. But again, I if I go to the pub, it might be with my wife, but it won't be with a large group of friends.
Yeah,
Because what I want to talk about might not be what they want to talk about, and it isn't
yeah.
about how many pints we can drink or get
Yeah,
on the
yeah. And
shots.
like I
You
said,
know, been there, done that.
I'm not watching, Netflix shows all night, and I'm not sort of watching the football on a Sunday. Like I'm spending time with my kids, and
Yeah,
if I get time to do a workout, like that's what I'm prioritizing at this stage in my life.
yeah,
So sometimes, people will be talking about the football or whatever, and I might just, what shows on TV. It's like I don't that that I don't have time to really do that at the moment. So it's pretty much, gym chat or lifestyle chat or eating healthy chat or whatever. And if
yeah,
people want
yeah.
to talk
Agreed.
about it, great. If you've got stuff in common with them, that's fine. If not, and like I said, as you get older, you just sort of learn to sort of say no, and you just sort of distance yourself away a little
Yeah,
bit,
you
and you
become less
sort of
fun. I think you become. I think I've become really comfortable in my own skin over the last few
yeah,
years, and this is what I am. This is what I do. Like no
yeah,
dramas.
yeah.
Um,
You just know, like I said, you know what's important to you. You know what makes you feel good.
yeah,
And you've been there and done certain things, and you don't want to just keep going around in circles and doing the same thing and not sort of improving. So I think it's important that when you realise what's important to you, you stick to your guns and you sort of follow your own path.
yeah, you do most definitely. Yeah, well said. It's a really good point. So your 30 rounder, 1 minute on, 1 minute off, you're holding 25 calories around, which is
Yeah,
insane. Insane. 25 calories around. When you're hitting the back end of that workout, I don't even want to think about how that feels. 25 calories a minute, one
yeah.
minute off,
Again,
1 minute.
I started at 20. I remember I started at 20 calories years ago, and it was like, can I get to 21? Then can I get to 22? Then can I get to 23? Um, Then yeah, 25. I think my all-time best is like I've done 30 rounds at or 20 rounds at 25, and I've the last part of the workout I've gone 26, 27 to 30 or something like that. So
Wow.
it's it's but
Beast mode.
yeah, at the moment I had a bit of an injury last year, so I'm back to sort of being able to do that workout like fairly comfortably. But yeah, so again, it's just a staple. Like get in the gym. I've got an hour. I know it's going to be hard. Um, it's not quite the grind of just staying on the bike for an hour. It's a slightly different workout, but I like the intervals of going hard, having a bit of a break. You sort
Yeah,
of get to
I
you
do.
get to sort of you get to sort of think between the rounds and sort of build yourself back up and
Yeah,
you sort of trying to learn to get your heart rate back down. And I've got a Garmin. I sort of like to try and control my heart rate because that's a skill in itself as well,
it
which
is.
I've learned. Um, but yeah, that's just sort of like a staple thing. And it started at half an hour, and it's turned into an hour. But yeah,
It's progressed into madness, Chris. That's what it has.
yeah,
So you got that. We've got the 1 hour for time. So your best time on the 1 hour on the echo bike is 55 minutes.
yeah. I think
Uh,
it's just under 56. I think 55 something. Again, when I first did that sort of over COVID, I think I did an hour and it was about 800 calories.
yeah,
And I think I did my first 1,000 calories within an hour about a year and a half ago. And then again, I've just sort of I managed to just chip a little bit away. Again, I don't have like a long term goal with it, and sometimes my goals change. Like I work out with my wife on the Echo bike, but also her sister she's actually had both her knees operated on over the last 5 to 10 years. So she's really got into the bike. So
right.
we do like a 500 calories partner WOD. So we've
Yeah,
got a time there that we try and beat. But yeah, it's just like I said, it's just mixing it up really, and
of
just
course it is.
like
Yeah,
mixing it up and trying to have little times to beat what we've got on the board, and just like I said, chip away at them each year. And when you look back every year and go, I'm still taking times off, and you're still seeing improvement, especially when you do have little injuries along the way.
yeah.
Because I had quite a nasty sort of MCL injury in the summer. I did go backwards for a bit, and that was really frustrating. But I still, I guess just had the relentless sort of mindset of I really want to sort of get back to where I was at really, and I feel good again now, and my leg's not hurting. I've just actually got another assault bike yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because I use it so much, and I think there's a new one. I think it's the V3. It's got a different monitor, and just one came up on Facebook Marketplace down the road, and it was pretty much brand new. And
Happy
I thought
days.
I've been using my one for a couple of years or 3 years. I just thought I'm gonna so I've got two in there at the moment, but yeah, I'm gonna start using start using the new one, even though it's not going to be. any different.
Well, we'll
But
see. You have to keep us updated what the difference is between the new and the
yeah,
old one.
I think yeah, there's a couple of small little changes, but I haven't used it yet.
Okay.
But that's quite exciting.
Well, maybe you can test it out with your favorite workout that we've called the mental breaker. So it's 30 seconds on, 90 seconds off. Listeners, give this one a go. The workout flow is as follows. So you set a calorie score you want to hit to begin with at 30 for 30 seconds, and then you do that for 10 rounds, and you add 1 calorie per round. Is that right?
Yeah, it's actually I found that like the best. I actually found that the best workout to for the shorter workouts. So for like the 50-calorie sort of challenge and stuff like that, that was
Yep.
the sort of thing I was training more, that sort of workout because it's more power endurance. You've got quite a bit of rest, but you're trying to get those calories in a short amount of time. It's very
Yep.
different to the long. So very different to the long grindy hold stuff. But yeah, the one I like to do is my cat. Like I said, everyone's different. Probably people wouldn't probably would be able to start what I'm starting on, but I do 10 rounds at 20 calories. So it's 20 calories in 30 seconds, 90 seconds rest. So you do that for 10 rounds, and then you add a calorie. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. My best so far is I've got to 29.
Okay.
Um, I did
And
it.
that's within the 30 seconds. That'd be your final
Yeah,
30
that's when,
seconds,
yeah. And if you
29
can't hit,
calories after
and
all
then
that.
when you can't hit, I can't hit 30. So then it's like I can like to call it off. It's like a bite bleep test. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a bleep test.
Yeah, I get it.
Again,
Brilliant.
like I said, the first 10 rounds, they should be not comfortable, but like you can
Doable.
still sort of, but yeah, it goes from like fairly comfortable to very hard very quickly.
Okay. So if I,
I actually did it a few weeks ago, and I could only hit 26. I've come down on that workout. So I think my speed I need to get that speed up in my legs and that speed
right.
endurance. Because my longer workouts are actually probably still there, but thereabouts of what I could do, but I've lost a bit
Yeah,
of the speed. But that's a great little workout, and it's probably about a half an hour workout, and it's yeah, you're on the floor every time.
of course, of course. And that's, I want to think of it. So for the mere mortal like myself and the listeners maybe, so I'd probably I'll start at 15 cows.
Yeah, I
I'll
think
do
yeah.
15
Again,
cows.
I'd say start about 15 calories.
Yeah.
Women probably
30
obviously a bit.
seconds, 90 seconds rest.
When I do it with my wife and Haley, they start at 11 calories.
Okay.
10. They're very good on the bike as well for their size, and
Yeah.
they are females. So they start at like 10, 11 and go up. But yeah, if I think for decent level guys, maybe start at 15,
Yeah.
14, 15, and go up and see how you go. But
Yeah. Because it is still
um,
that's still a sprint for 30 seconds. That's still a
yeah.
powerful sprint for
Yeah.
30 seconds.
But
The
again,
cadence is nice and high.
when I started, I was doing, years ago, I was doing 15s, and I found that quite challenging. But again, it's just every year, just trying to add,
Of course.
and yeah,
Yeah, of course it is. No, that's great. I will I'm going to add that to my list of
yeah. But
workouts to
if
do
yeah,
next week. So once I shake this bug.
yeah. But if
Um
one year again, it's one year. I just find it's a really good one for just getting your fitness up, like because you improve quite quickly on that workout. If you're pushing yourself to the max and you're sort of doing it every 10 days, 2 weeks, like
yeah.
I do find you get better at that quite quickly. It's a good
Yeah.
one for sort of really getting your fitness up.
So I did last week. It was 10 calorie all out sprint. It was basically I thought, right, I've got to commit to my 50 calories per time. I've got to
Yeah.
do it. Stop putting it off.
Right.
So I did 10 seconds all out sprint, 2:30 rest. So a nice rest in between
Yeah.
10 rounds. I ended up only doing 8 because I literally couldn't stand up. So
Right.
I think it was 11 seconds, 11 seconds, 10, 12. So it's between 11 seconds and
Yeah.
I think in the end it was like 14 or 15 seconds, but just getting used to the body of that max power output. But I couldn't feel my quads. So I wanted to do 10 and I literally couldn't stand
Yeah.
after round 8. It
Well, I think
wasn't
that's
because
the
I,
thing. It's the thing with the sub bike, isn't it? When you're done, you're kind of done.
you're
And
cooked.
it's also on those like longer ones. I know if I spill over, if I go out too fast, it's very hard to come back or
Yeah.
go down into that pace. So
Yeah.
again, like I know my pace is really well on the bike, and I know if I go too far too quickly, and my heart rate gets too high too fast, it's very
You're
hard
done.
to sort of then get back.
You're
Or
done.
if you blow your legs out quickly,
Mm.
that machine is just that's why this again, it's why it's such a great machine.
It is. It is. And there is a skill element to it as well. Learning how many cows you can hold in a certain time, what your cadence is, what you can hold for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Finding your cadence levels is really, really important. And
Yeah,
you only find those levels by putting yourself to the test. So that was the first time
yeah,
I'd done that workout last week. And now I know how I felt. And if I would have done round 9 and 10, it would have taken me 60 seconds to do each round. And that wasn't the intensity I was looking for, so it defeated
right.
the object. So I'd rather go, okay, well, that's my 8 rounds. And it was 100% everything. Go
Yeah,
for it. Okay. So I can get ready for that 50 cal
yeah,
challenge. But yeah, it was fun, and it was a good mind battle as well. But those quads just blow up so much, don't they? You just the
yeah,
lactic acid in them legs, and you just
yeah.
can't get rid of it.
Yeah, no, and that's again, that's why I just love it. Like it's just
I
a
love it. We love the Echo Bike. Let's
yeah,
go.
it's just a leveler on all accounts. And like I
Yeah,
say, I like doing my sort of bodybuilding stuff. I like training my legs every week. Um, and like I said, that feeling in your legs afterwards, you can do heavy squats, you can do leg extensions, whatever. That feeling you get of that pump in your legs from the Echo bike,
yeah, it's insane.
there's nothing, and it lasts for days. Like if
It
you if
does.
you really push yourself, and like I said, I just find that my legs have just really built up, not just from weights, but from doing a lot of time on that bike.
Yeah,
It's sort of paying off really. So
yeah.
because that's
I
always been the
found.
goal, was to build up my legs.
Yeah, no, agreed. Build up them chicken legs, big man. Let's get
Yeah,
them
exactly.
going.
Yeah,
I'm the same. My legs have always been thin. I've always had thin legs, but I've been trying to work really hard, and the bike definitely has helped that. Oh, I will say the Echo bike has also helped my rowing as well. So I've been doing a lot more rowing lately. And
yeah,
that's really, really helped my rowing. Just to balance, um, yeah, the pain through the quads, and it's really helped me in my threshold and my limits on that 500-meter row. It really helped a lot massively.
yeah.
From your point of view, okay, here's a question for you, Chris. If the Echo bike was a flavor crisp, what would it be?
It's got to be like some sort of like Monster Munch, spicy flavor or something. I don't know, something like that.
Some
But yeah,
flavor that makes you sick.
yeah, it's just spicy, and yeah, and like I said, I always sort of invite friends to come and do workouts, and they've come and done a few, and they've ended up throwing up in the bush
And they
outside, and
haven't
then
come back.
they don't come back, unfortunately. But no, it's all good fun.
Yeah,
Um, and like I said, it's good to have sort of the few people that follow me on Instagram that appreciate and know what a road bike is. And like I said, I don't really put sort of my weights and my times up that much anymore.
no,
But every now and then I will do. And obviously the people that sort of follow me and know what the road bike is, and they can appreciate that time.
yeah,
I guess it's sort of just it's nice to have some people that are doing the same thing, and they appreciate how hard it is, I suppose, and you can sort of that sort of connection, like we do, really. Like I said, we haven't really
yeah.
seen each other much over the last 30 years, but there's certain workouts and certain machines that we both work out, and we know how hard it is, and we have that sort of that common ground, really.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the really good things about social media, is being able to connect on that level and go, oh, mate, that was insane. How do you do that? And then you may be saying to me, well, I'll tell you what, try this calorie. Okay, I'll give that a go. I think that sharing has been absolutely brilliant. I've got that with a few guys, new people I've met again via social media and the fitness world, but also friends from back in the day, staying
Yeah.
connected through social media. That's definitely a really big positive through social media that has also helped me over the last 4 or 5 years, not comparing, but just
Yeah,
talking about.
it's
I,
just
I,
learning,
I enjoy
and
talking about workouts and just talking about
yeah,
times. I think it's great.
it's just learning. And as I said, I played cricket for 16 years, and I trained in a certain way, and I was really good at training in that certain way. But when I retired, I trained with some strong men and bodybuilders and CrossFit guys, and it's just completely different. And I've just learned so much. I just used to think you just lift weights and you get stronger and you put on muscle, but there's so much more to it, and there's so many different ways of doing it. Um, like I said, it's just you can, and even at our age, you can never stop learning, and that's the great thing
Mm,
about anything, but especially fitness, is because that's something that we like doing.
yeah.
I feel like you can always learn, and I feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable, but there's so many other people that know more than me, and I'm always willing to sort of tap into that, and I'm always looking at podcasts or things that come up. Every now and then when I get time to sort of watch a bit of TV,
Yeah,
I'd rather watch podcasts that have, and I'm trying to get little nuggets of information and try little things that I can try and improve on, really, rather than sort of watching EastEnders on a Friday night. I'd
yeah.
rather watch a fitness podcast of someone that sort of inspires me a little bit, or I've seen what they've done and it's like, okay, how do they go about it? And I can sort of try that and add it to my sort of my list, really, of things to
Yeah.
try.
And there is, again, that's another positive. There's now so much information out there that people can share with it. It's absolutely great. You can take so many nuggets from so many different
Yeah.
areas, can't you? Now, I think looking at the Echo Bike and what you've said, and I'm sure others that are listening that use it, why does it matter so much that we use a piece of equipment like that? And I feel as though it it really forces us to be honest with ourselves. It takes you to a place where you have to be honest with yourself. I feel as though it exposes us quite a bit as well. And I think it's one of the machines that demands probably the most focus under fatigue. Thinking about your times, your splits, and trying to get back on the bike, it really does demand a lot of focus. And lastly, I'd say it probably maybe reinforces just like self accountability and all those things I've tried to take into my everyday life as well. So,
Yeah.
fitness, you said it when you first come on that fitness is a part of your life. And I think fitness is just a way of life, and everything you do on that aero bike or whatever workout you're doing, I think it matters because you take that into your everyday life. Would you agree?
Yeah, I just think, I just think life is it's nice when it's comfortable, but I think if you want to get better at anything in life, and I guess I would have never have like got to where I did in cricket if I didn't put myself in uncomfortable situations, and I did that on so many occasions, and I was out of my comfort zone. But they were the times where I really learned things and I really got better and I really sort of surprised myself with what I
Yeah,
can do with myself. And I guess and that's why I've taken it forward with into life after cricket. It's taken that into the gym, and that will be something if I do a workout, I will post about getting out of the comfort zone. And it's not just about in the gym, but if you can learn to do it in the gym, because it's horrible, let's be honest, like it's not fun going to it's not fun going to those places, but it really sort of like stands you in good stead, and it shows you what you're really made of. And not everyone can go to those sort of levels, but if you can learn to do it, I just think that so many more elements in your life just become so much easier, and you learn to take on the world, and you you just gain so much confidence from putting yourself out there and getting out of the comfort zone.
agreed.
Same as when you finish sport, it's not an easy place to go and do anything in life after cricket. But I've thrown myself out there and started a business and things like that, and put myself out my comfort zone, a bit like with the gym. And that sort of mindset has really stuck for me, and it's the best thing I've ever done. Within cricket, I was probably the most comfortable I was in life because I knew had a contract and I was getting paid, and it was something I was good at.
Yeah,
um, but having got out of my comfort zone of going to military camps and things like this during my cricket career, things I didn't really want to do, they're the times that have really stuck with me and gone, oh, I hated it at the time, but I've learned so much from it. And
yeah,
it's sort of, I've taken those sort of nuggets and of information and putting myself out there of taking that forward into my 40s and 50s or whatever, of
yeah.
putting myself in my comfort zone every now and then. It's only good for you.
It is. And you know what? A lot of people, or when I do see my friends, if we play golf or whatever it is, they would always say, "Oh, but it's you make it look so easy to get out and do it," whereas it really isn't. It's such hard work. And I always
Yeah.
say to them, if it was easy, anyone would do it. When you're coming
Well,
for a workout,
I've seen the picture of you carrying your rowing machine out into the forest, and
yeah,
but it's like you've got something about yourself. It's like you've got to get up and want to do that. And like I said, when you're there, it's probably
great,
amazing.
great.
And when you finish that, and it's that feeling afterwards, oh God, I'm so glad I did that.
Yeah,
But like
and you can't buy it. You can't buy
yeah,
that.
it's
You
just a
cannot
lot
buy
of
it.
it is just it's the starting, isn't it? It's when you wake up at
Yes,
5 in the morning. No one wants to go to the gym at 5 in the morning, But when you finish and you drive back and the sun still doesn't come up, it's such a good feeling because
It is.
you know you've got it done. You've got the rest of the day to look forward to. It's in the bag. Um, I just think it's those sort of things. Like I said, it's never easy. People just think,
Mm,
oh, you're just built differently, or you just live a different life, or whatever. It's like, no, I just choose to do it, and I choose to
yeah,
do hard things. Not every day, but like few times a week, I'm going to do some hard things, whether it's get up early, or train after work, or do a workout I don't want to do. And those things just over time they just add up and they add up, and they just become a lot easier, right?
they do. They do. And I know I've the last the whole of January, even the back end of December. I hit some nice lifts. I hit some nice PBs. But if I'm honest with you, I've probably the last 4 or 5 years, the least I've been enjoying my training at all.
Okay.
Been finding it such a grind to get out there and doing the sessions. I'm hitting some good numbers. I'm happy with the performance, but it just goes to show it isn't all about the performance because just the thought of getting out there and doing the workout at the moment is just like it feels like such a chore. And there's a
Yeah.
lot going on with work and that, and there's a lot
Yeah,
going on. But
and like I said, I'm exactly the same. Like I have periods where I just, I say to my missus that I just don't have the buzz of like I, sometimes do.
yeah,
But even though I just find it's important that when you do have those sort of periods, because I always find they always pass. They will
swings and
pass.
roundabouts. Yeah,
Um, but I just find it's important that you still, like you're doing, you still get in there. You're still probably hitting good numbers. It's just like that mental thing. You've probably got other things going on, but it's hard to just love it every single day, right? Even when I was playing professional sport, everyone just thinks you're living the dream. You're playing cricket every day. There was years where I just hated playing cricket. If I'm honest, it was
yeah,
just like it just became a job and it came a chore. I've got to travel. I've got to go to another country. I've got to leave my family again. All these sort of things. But you just find a way to keep doing it, and like I said, getting out of your comfort zone and to keep doing it, and those sort of things pass, and then your mindset changes, or the weather changes, or whatever it is, or
yeah.
whatever's going on in your life, because everyone's got stuff going on in their lives, haven't they? The behind the scenes that we don't see on social media.
That's right.
Same as in sport, people just presuming you're a robot and you can just turn up and take wickets or score a goal in football, but they don't know about the arguments you've had with your wife or your kid's
Yeah.
sick or all this stuff. Um, so
And that all adds
yeah,
up. That I think sometimes you don't even realize it. When you're going through day to day and you're working out, you're doing the work, you're in the evening seeing the missus. I think all those things, and you realize 3 months have gone past. You're like, what's happened?
yeah,
And then you're not enjoying it as much as what you were before
yeah,
because you maybe forgot the reason why you're doing it in the first place, which is to go and get out, spend a bit of time, be a bit selfish, get a workout, feel good. I know sometimes I probably can put a bit of pressure on myself, especially when there's a competition coming up. Maybe, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that.
yeah,
So I've definitely stepped back and gone, rather than saying I've got to do this on this day, I've now just got a list of workouts or sessions and I just pick and choose. Well, that's how I feel today. So I need to do that one because my body,
yeah,
I'm getting older. I might have back squats planned, but I know I can't do that because my body's
yeah,
just
yeah,
saying no. So I'd rather
yeah.
just pull back and go, okay, well, I'll do this instead.
Yeah. So some days, some days I'll just say to myself, look, it doesn't really matter. Like, as much as I am like so driven and want to put myself out of my comfort zone, there are just some days where I'm just knackered or I'm just exhausted. Or the wife, say to the wife, and it's like you're just trying to force it and trying to force it and just go,
Yeah.
let's have a bit of perspective today and just go, whether I do
Yeah.
that workout today, it's not going to matter. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to get the same time or probably a better time because I'm going to let my body rest, going to let my mind rest.
Mm,
Um, but that's the problem when you get so addicted to working out, you don't want to have a rest day. The rest
yeah.
days become, they're the difficult ones. And that's actually something I've really tried to work hard on the last 12 months is to actually allow myself to have rest days. I never used to
Yeah.
have rest days. But I'm finding I'm getting better, I think, into my later years because I'm actually allowing myself to, and I've realized I need to let my body rest
We need
because
to. We're getting old, Chris. We
I'm getting
need to
old.
recover. Recover's got to be
Yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah. Even leg day, like if I do a hard leg day, it's about 10-day recovery now, where it used to be 3 or 4 days. Like
Yeah.
I can go and do a leg day, but like I can't do it properly to that intensity every single 3 or 4 days. If I want to do it properly, it's like at least a week off. Or if I'm doing
Yeah.
that, because I like to train hard, I don't like to do it half-assed. Same with the bike. If I'm doing a really hard bike, probably need a week off now. To
Yeah.
like really hit that again next week. I do like another workout in between, which not as intensely, but when I was playing cricket in my mid-20s, it was like every day, just bashing it out. But
Back in the good old
just
days, big man.
just can't just train it. That, yeah, I think when you get to our age, it's keeping that intensity just becomes a little bit harder. And
We've got to be clever.
year after year, I'm just finding it a little bit harder to just to back it up, and I just need to allow my body and my mind to just have a little bit more of
Yeah.
a break.
Yeah. And it is when you're constantly putting your body through that level of stress, I don't think we realize how
No,
much mental stress you need to use to put yourself in that position. So I feel as
yeah,
though that whole mental, and that's what I think where I am right now, if I'm honest, is just constantly putting myself mentally in that position. I just
yeah.
feel a bit drained with it all. So I
And I
took
think
a,
it's probably like your nervous system and everything as well. And
yeah,
I think especially with CrossFit athletes, my wife she's an absolute nutcase. She trains pretty much every day. I'm always telling her to try and rest, but CrossFit programming is quite brutal, isn't it? Like it's
yeah,
very intense. It's short, but it's intense. But it does really take it out of you because I know when I do really short, intense workouts, they're actually the ones that I probably need the most rest from because you're going to max with your heart rate. And like I said, when I was 25, you recover quite quickly. You can sort
yeah,
of back that up the next day. But I think with the type of training, especially CrossFit training, and you're going to max heart rate a lot of the time, or 90% of your heart rate, you do just need a little bit more rest at times. But
yeah.
You CrossFit guys, you are built a little bit differently mentally. You are a bit nuts.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, I really enjoy the CrossFit side. I've really in the last year or two, I've definitely been doing a lot more rowing and just really enjoying other areas of fitness as well. But training towards the Arnold Fitness Games at the moment is, yeah, the training's gone up, intensity's gone up. There's red line workouts, the sub 8 minute workouts
Yeah,
have gone up, and I think yeah, that's definitely where I'm feeling it mentally and physically for sure. So, and obviously not feeling great at the moment. So I took a rest day today, but looking forward to seeing how I feel tomorrow.
yeah.
See if we can build something in.
It's also just remembering that we're not not I'm not a professional athlete anymore. Even though I try to like go to those levels or try and be elite. But it's not like a full-time job when, because I think back and
Agreed.
when I was a cricketer, it was literally I had all day, every day to train, eat what I was needed to eat. It was just fully committed. But you've got kids and you've got other responsibilities.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So it's trying to just balance all those things up. And I think it's natural to have those sort of ways where it does become a bit hard because you've got other stuff going on.
Yeah,
When you're just
yeah,
able to just focus on working out and that's it, which is I was lucky enough to do that for so long, is it's quite easy really. But when you've got to balance up all your responsibilities you've got in your 40s and
yeah, for sure,
all these
man.
things,
There's a lot.
it can just become a lot every now and then, and especially when it's January, it's raining all the time. We were in Dubai last week for a week. Mentally, I
Looks
just feel
amazing, by the way. That looks
I felt
amazing.
but I just felt so much, lucky we're going on holiday next week over half term, again into somewhere sunny, but it just makes you feel so much different. So yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully this stops raining and the sun comes out and the summer gets here quickly because
yeah,
it's certainly more enjoyable, isn't it, getting out there and doing your workouts in the garden when the sun's
agreed.
out.
Yeah, no, agreed. And I mean, yeah, I think listeners hearing that, I think the note there is to book a holiday in the sunshine. That'd be nice. Let's go.
Yeah.
But no, look, listen, Chris, some of those takeaways there have been absolutely brilliant. I know we're an hour in now. It's absolutely flown by, believe it or not. I so appreciate you coming on this podcast today. There's so much I would love to discuss with you. So maybe we'll do a part two another day. But
Yeah, do part two, like
yeah,
yeah, I won't
so
really go
good.
into a bit more mindset stuff, maybe when more my cricketing days and stuff.
I
But
think
yeah,
so.
whatever you wanna
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah. Well, and listeners that are listening, feel free to write in the comments if you want to ask any questions or what our next pod should be on with Chris Tremlett, England cricketing legend and Echo Bike world champ, in my opinion.
Definitely
Um,
not. But
so
we'll keep trying to get better. Maybe at age 45, I've got some
we'll
records at
see.
my age,
I
but
tell you what we need.
I'm definitely not one. I'm definitely not the best in the world. um, for any age group, but I'd say I'll be hopefully like in I don't know, the top 25 for my age group if
Listen,
I was.
you're in the top 1%, big man. That is for sure with those scores, and more importantly, you're out there working every day, getting your 1% banked and absolutely crushing it, and it's going to inspire a lot of people. So please keep doing what you're doing, big man. And like I say, the elite mindset it doesn't retire, it just evolves, doesn't it? That elite mindset,
Yeah,
you don't stop,
well,
it
yeah,
just evolves.
I think I'm a bit of a rare breed because most of my old cricketing friends aren't anything like me. They've put on a bit of weight and they like a beer. It's because I do a few of legends tournaments every now and then.
Yeah.
I'm the only one in the gym. I'll tell you that. Um, but
You
yeah,
walking like
it's
the Incredible Hulk. All right, guys.
but yeah, it's served me well. Like I said,
Good.
more mentally than physically. Even though I feel physically very good, even though I've had 8 surgeries, mentally, um, I don't ever really remember being in like a depressive sort of person or state because I think the fitness side and the gym side has always sort of saved me. That it was,
Yeah,
people. It's cliche, and people say it, but it is a bit like a therapy,
it is.
as exercise. And I think if people can just get out there and do something, it doesn't have to be hard. It can just be a walk. It can just be a light exercise bike or wherever it is. Just move and learn about exercise. You'd be surprised how it can just sort of make you feel. And I think especially later on in life, you really appreciate what a difference it really does make when you sort of really start looking after yourself and exercising, sleeping better, eating better. It makes such a difference because it doesn't get any easier as you get older. I'll tell you that.
We know that, big man, doesn't
Yeah.
it ever? But that's true. I'll say, no, the mental health is number one. A byproduct is you're going to look good, you're going to feel good, but mentally, we're going to put ourselves in that right place to achieve every day and be a good father, be a good husband,
Absolutely. It's about
be
looking
a
in the
good friend.
mirror, looking in the mirror every day and just, knowing that you're sort of doing the best of yourself and then hopefully for your family as well. When you look in the mirror and you know you're not putting it in, it's the same during my cricket career. I knew if I was looking myself in the mirror and I knew I hadn't done that training session or I'd
Yeah,
been out the night before, I knew it,
yeah,
and if I didn't bowl great the next day because I've been out, it's like that's on me. Like no one else knows, but I know, and
yeah.
I know if I'm not getting the times on this up by now, that's just down to me. It's up to me.
Nowhere to hide,
So
is there, big man? Nowhere to
never
hide.
know how. Absolutely.
Well, this episode has definitely shown us that chasing pain, structure, discomfort can still shape our purpose, our identity, and our mental strength. Long after competition, elite competition, professional athletes' time has finished. So for you, big man, thank you so much for sharing all that information. And if anyone wants to follow, please feel free to jump on Chris Tremlett's Instagram. What's your Instagram, big man?
Uh, Chris Tremlett 33. That was my
Okay.
England number. So yeah, Chris Tremlett 33.
So it does come with a warning because if you do follow, you're going to see the stories of these vile workouts. So yeah, feel free to drop a message to Chris as well and share your times with him. That'd be great. And don't forget, our next episode's coming live next week. We can't share who the guest is, but for the time being, get out there, get on the Echo bike, go and chase some pain, and don't forget, it only gets easier when you push harder. Let's go. No, Chris, seriously, thanks, mate. Appreciate your time today. And we will, to all the listeners, we'll see you all next week. Cheers, Chris.
Pleasure. Cheers, Daz.